All right.
Live.
Yeah, we are here. Beautiful
Lounging.
Falling Waters Clubhouse
Southwest Florida.
in East Naples. NFL draft.
East Naples.
East-
Gotta clarify that.
Well,
'cause people
yeah.
think East Naples
South
and-
Naples, East Naples, Davis Boulevard, all kinds of Naples. So we had our first round last night of the NFL draft, and it definitely didn't disappoint, I would say.
No, it was a fun draft. I know we had a good time. Watched the whole first round, about 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
And a couple surprises. I think the first 3 picks went as planned.
Yep.
And then the Raiders. We knew
And then the Raiders came in and picked. Yeah.
We knew the Raiders were going to throw a curveball. I think they threw a nasty slider. though.
Sure.
I mean,
They sure did. I mean, screwball, if you
a
will.
screwball. Yeah, better analogy.
Top 3 went Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams. No real surprises there. I know some people may thought Ed Oliver should have went before Quinnen Williams. But then you had Clelin Ferrell go to the Raiders, and he was arguably the 3rd best Clemson D lineman. And he goes 4, and you talk about him.
I mean, you know, the most respected draft boards I looked at, the 3 or 4 boards, I saw him going 16 to Carolina. A couple had him going to Baltimore at, what was it, 22, 23?
23, yeah.
And then I even
excuse
saw
me,
him
25.
going as low as New
22.
England to 32. Now, 16 to 22 was pretty much his projected draft range, but I mean, it's a reach. No way you look
it's definitely
at it.
a
I
reach.
get it. They love the guy. They wanted a 3-down defensive end. It fits the scheme, but
Yeah.
you could have traded down and got him. Even if he could have got just a second rounder, you
Yeah.
still could have moved down to 10, 11, 12 and got him. It's
For sure.
It's a reach.
Definitely a reach. Like we were saying when we were watching, you were dumbfounded. I was cracking up laughing.
I was shocked. I literally, I was stunned, and you were laughing.
Yes, I was cracking up. Austin, what's up? Mark Fiola, senior in the house. What's up, guys? Yeah, I mean, I just all you hear on sports radio talk today is just the mocking of John Gruden. And John Gruden, as we already knew, his ego is the size of the state of California anyway. But then you get Mike Mayock in there who knows his stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's a respected guy. But then
But
it's almost like his is probably.
Well, Mayock's had a big ego too, and he goes off the wall too. Sometimes.
Fusing
Remember
together.
with the Robert Ayers thing
Yeah.
a while back. Everyone had Robert Ayers as kind of a second-round player, and he started talking about him as a top 5 pick. I think he pushed him in the first round, and obviously he was a bust for the Broncos. But
yeah.
Mayock tends to do that. He goes out on a limb with some guys, and I don't know, his track record going out on a limb with guys hasn't been that great.
And
So you get him and Gruden in the same draft war room, and this is what you
This
get.
is what you get, and with Josh Allen on the board, with even Brian Burns on the board, like you said,
And Oliver.
I mean, even Rashawn Gary, we probably could have been like, okay, we see it a little maybe, but which we both think is probably going to be a bust in Green Bay, unfortunately for you Packer fans. But
yeah, you have Ed Oliver, Josh Allen, even like you
even
could take
Devin White,
or Devin
White, linebacker,
Hawkinson.
yeah.
I mean, you could have traded down.
Could have traded
I
down,
know there were
absolutely.
teams looking to really move up as much, but you could have moved down into
Yeah.
the 10-11 range and got at least a second rounder pick back and got Farrell there.
But the one thing we will say, as we say for every team, if that, even as crazy as that pick was, if there's a guy you want, you take him no matter what,
Yeah.
and that's what the Raiders did. So we could sit here and talk all day about the
and
Raiders.
that's what the Giants did.
And that's what the
they're
Giants
getting
did,
flack too. They love Daniel Jones. I know we both felt they could have got him at 17.
Yep.
But they wanted him. They fell in love with him. And if they think that's the quarterback of the future, then hey, it's a good pick for
They
them
didn't
at
want to take
6.
any chances at anybody trading up and getting them in front of them, and they just went for it.
And kudos to Daniel Jeremiah. He was
Oh, yeah.
the one guy that I saw
The catalyst
had
of that
him
pick, for
taking,
sure.
Daniel Jones at 6, so he really nailed that one. And you want to talk about Josh Allen kind of
Yeah.
falling a little bit. I think going to Jacksonville at 7 is a great fit for them. He fits that scheme just perfectly.
Oh,
And
man.
Tom Coughlin.
They've got to be ecstatic there.
And Tom Coughlin for years has been a guy who stays true to his board, takes the best player available.
Yep.
And so you get Josh Allen at 7. And then Detroit getting Hawkinson, I think that was a great fit. Like we said yesterday,
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford.
Happiest
had to be
guy.
He got his security blanket.
Yeah.
He got his Gronkowski, basically. I thought that was a good pick at 8. And Buffalo getting Ed Oliver, who they reportedly really wanted and were even trying to trade up for maybe, and they get him at 9. And then rounding out the top 10, the Broncos made the first trade.
We thought there would be more than one trade in the top 10, but there wasn't. It was just the Broncos at 10, just before the top 10 ended. And I know I was sitting there thinking, well, if we're going to pick, Devin Bush has got to be the pick. With Devin White being off the board, Ed Oliver off the board, and T.J. Hockenson, which were the 3 guys that the Broncos were targeting. at that number 10 spot, which leads to me to believe that's why they made the deal.
Yes.
If those 3 guys were gone,
Yes.
we're going to make a trade to somebody.
Yes.
They didn't go back too far. They only went back 10 spots, and they wanted a tight end, so they went and got their tight end later. But Pittsburgh, they wanted their guy Devin Bush. We both love him. You love him more than
One of my
probably
favorite guys
anyone.
in the draft.
And,
Didn't love what he
yeah.
was wearing.
No,
I thought he was maybe hurt. It looked
No.
like he had a sling on,
Oh,
but that guy is a heck of a football player. He's a Steeler linebacker too.
Interesting choice of outfit, that's
Wardrobe.
for sure.
He is a Steeler linebacker, though.
Yes.
The Steeler Nation's going to love that kid, and I think it was a good trade for both teams.
Yeah, it was.
Steelers go up, get their guy. The Broncos move back.
Yep.
They ended up getting their tight end Noah Fant
Noah
anyway.
Fant, yeah.
And now they got 2 second-round picks and a draft that is very second-round heavy. A lot of good guys tonight.
Don't mean to
available.
be too critical of my team here. Obviously, I think Noah Fant's going to be the solution finally after we've been trying to find a tight end for the last couple of years. I think he is the solution. He's going to be, and he's going to make an immediate impact. Joe Flacco's got his security blanket, if you will, as well.
Absolutely.
But to me,
This guy's Dennis Pita.
yeah, he's got his tennis pitta, yeah. And then I would have taken Bush if it was me. Just get him. You need that quarterback of defense for Vic Fangio. Obviously, day 2, they're probably going to target that. I don't. But the linebacker is positioned very top heavy in this draft as far as inside linebacker. So we'll see what happens
They could
there.
still get possibly Greedy
Yep.
Williams tonight.
Yeah,
Imagine
Greedy
if they
Williams
get
at the
Greedy
cornerback
Williams tonight.
position. That is my goal. If Greedy Williams can get to Denver at 41, I don't think he'll last till 52.
No.
But if he
Or
does,
maybe,
I'd be
or maybe
shocked.
they trade up from 41 and get him in the early mid-30s.
And I've also seen that they are a little interested. They've shown a lot of interest in Byron Murphy
Yes,
as
he's a
well.
guy I
So
like,
he's
too.
another guy that could be taken.
We're kind of jumping gears, but a lot of good corners available tonight. You talk about Byron Murphy, Greedy Williams, Rocky Sin, your guy Lonnie Johnson, a guy I like from Vanderbilt, Joanne Williams,
Yeah.
a kid from Miami, Michael Jackson Jr., and
Michael
Julian Love
Jackson.
from Notre Dame. There's some good cornerbacks available tonight, boy.
Yeah, so we got a couple questions rolling in. I know Austin, my buddy Austin from, he's a Titans fan. They took Jeffrey Simmons. He likes the pick.
That was the portion of the draft that kind of depressed everybody.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean-
what the heck ESPN. I just didn't get that. I mean,
Like,
that incident was 4 years ago. He was 18 years old, and
we can understand if you wanna talk about it. If you wanna
absolutely.
But
talk
that's
about,
all they
they
talked
talked about
about.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We talk about a guy, Jeffrey Simmons, is a top 5 talent. Had he not torn his ACL,
Yeah.
he was a surefire top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And that was a good pick for the Titans.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons is a heck of a football player. You talk about a 6'3", 290-plus pound cat, quick DT.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Fletcher Cox, another
Yes.
Mississippi State
Yes.
DT. So that was a good
Trying
pick
to see
for
who's
the Titans.
filing in here. It's hard to see. Excuse me, but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing because we talked about Simmons and his ACL. That's the one thing that the Titans are worried about. They're not worried about the off-the-field
No,
stuff
that was,
like they shouldn't be.
that
That was
was,
an incident. He's apologized numerous times. We don't condone that. Nobody condones
No.
that. It was disgusting. But to take the entire time of the Titans pick and talk about
weird.
that, it's very weird. But Cincinnati takes Jonah Williams, Green Bay Rashawn Gary, go to Miami, who I was really critical of, and I got in a huge debate with a lot of Dolphin fans
some
about
flack for that.
a little bit. So it's Christian Wilkins, and not that Christian Wilkins isn't a good player. I think he's going to make an impact for Miami. But when you look at the Dolphins and all the stuff that they need, quarterback, they need linebackers,
Pass
they could
rusher.
use a pass rusher. Well, yes, you can say he's a defensive lineman and he can get to the quarterback, but he's not a guy that's going to get you like 12 to 15 sacks, I don't think, in
He's
a
the
year.
kind
I
of
mean,
guy that's great when you already have some defensive guys in the mix, and he's kind of that missing piece.
like
in the
Clellan
middle.
Farrell or the other guy who escapes me.
Like a Tillery too.
well, I'm
the
just saying,
Chargers,
yeah.
You know, he's a guy that you fill in to complement Ingram and Bosa.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins need playmakers.
Dexter
they need
Lawrence.
impact guys. They need you know.
Yeah, it's
guys. I don't know. It's just another ho hum kind of Dolphins. pick.
Right, it is. It's a ho-hum pick. The Dolphins should have went quarterback. I had them taking Dwayne Haskins. He was right there. He fell right into their lap. Obviously, today's the day. Maybe they do go make a trade for Josh Rosen. Maybe they do draft Drew Lock. Maybe move up a little bit. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Or they're waiting till next year and they're totally tanking. I really don't know. But like every year, I feel like with the Dolphins, there's never a clear path of what they're trying to do since Dan Marino. And I don't care what any of you Dolphin fans tell me. I understand you're fans and you think they got it, but just they got to have some kind of identity, and they still don't have it. And their new coach is very defensive minded, but you got to get your quarterback. So we'll move on to Atlanta. Chris Lindstrom, the offensive guard out of
solid
Boston,
pick,
Boston College.
Not a sexy pick, but
No.
just it's a pick that Falcons fans are going to like in the years
Hard
to
to
come.
see, huh? Can't
And
see any of these questions. Sorry, guys.
And I think Matt Ryan is a happy camper. Chris Lindstrom, 4-year starter at Boston College, great run blocker, good pass block. Just a solid pick.
Yeah, it's a solid pick for the Atlanta, and the team that did end up with the Haskins, Washington at 15.
And they
Great.
played the draft beautifully.
They
They
did.
never panicked. They
A+.
stayed put, and they get their guy at 15. I thought
Yeah.
it was a great pick, a great fit for the scheme.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden's a good situation. I think he's going to start before the year is over. Mm-hmm. And
Absolutely.
I think that was a great pick to get him at 15.
Being familiar with Case Keenum in Denver, I had high hopes for Keenum, but Keenum's a journeyman for a reason. He's been a backup most of his career for a reason, and he showed it last year in Denver, and he's going to probably show it even more so in Washington with the lack of skill set players and not as good a defense to back him up and anything like that. So I think Dwayne Haskins will start probably sooner than later in Washington. And to stick with Washington, we'll go all the way to 26 when they made a trade with Indianapolis, another team who I don't know what the hell's doing on their offensive side of the ball, but we'll get to that. Washington goes all the way down to 26 and gets Montez Sweat, who was a top 10 talent, mostly top 10 in everyone's mock until the heart condition came out. Then they said they misdiagnosed him. If that's nothing, if his heart condition is nothing, man, you're looking at an absolute steal, probably the steal at the draft.
You think he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder?
I
being
think
passed
so.
over?
I think he's going to 25
come in-
teams past
I'm
him.
going to come out and say this right now. Leads all rookies in sacks.
That's a very feasible.
I think he
thing.
comes in and gets 10 to 12 sacks. I really
Excellent.
do.
Well, hey, I don't blame I don't blame you for making that prediction because it could happen. Carolina, Brian Burns, your favorite player
yeah,
ever.
one of my him and Bush,
Him and Devin
Bosa.
Bush and Bosa. Well, Bosa, yeah, that obviously I don't know how we didn't get to talking
Well,
about that
yeah,
just because it was the obvious. Pick,
Obvious,
so to
but just real quick, just a home run pick for the 49ers. I mean, you get arguably the best player in the draft. You team him up now with D Ford. You got Ford and Bosa
Yeah.
on opposite sides with Buckner up the middle. Just a great player. The guy was bred to play football. I think he's going to be even better than his brother. Just a home run pick.
I think so, too.
As a 49er fan, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
I think Nick Bosa is just a great pick. It's going to be a great fit. Really like him. And so you talk about Carolina again. Brian Burns
Yes.
at 16. Aldon Smith 2.0 on the field version. Spider-Man, if you will.
Yeah.
Good pick for Carolina. I
Big
think
Marvel fan.
He'll be their Julius Peppers.
Yes, he could be their Julius Peppers, and they definitely needed that pass rusher, and Brian Burns definitely
Yes.
fits the mold there. Garrett Bradbury to Minnesota, skipped over the Giants. Dexter Lawrence, probably the second best Clemson guy, maybe the best. He goes to the Giants. You get Daniel Jones, they get Dexter Lawrence, their pass rusher that they needed. So solid pick there. And then
Minnesota. You had that in a mock a couple of weeks ago.
I
You
did.
had him taking
I
Bradbury.
did, yeah.
And a lot of mocks lately followed suit. Makes total sense. The Vikings had the lowest rated center in all of football last year. You get the best center in the draft.
They gave up the most
pick.
sacks. They gave up the most sacks up the
pressure
middle.
and two.
So that was the pick, and that's what
Get
made
the
me
best
think,
center
get
in the
him,
draft.
go get him. Yeah,
Good-
and they did.
Good pick.
So Tennessee, Jeffrey Simmons, we talked
Yeah.
about. Then we'll on to Denver. Darnell Savage, an interesting pick from Green Bay.
He's a guy I really like. He was a round 2 target for the 49ers, and I thought he was going to be a round 2 guy because of his size, about 5'10", 190-ish. So if you look at his tape, he's a first-round guy, but the size I thought would knock him into round 2.
A little bit of an interesting pick, probably a reach, traded up
Green
for
Bay
him.
ends up moving up for him. Well, I
Yeah.
like the guy, but just a little bit small. I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
I
very
don't know.
interesting pick, and at 21, definitely somebody they probably could have gotten round 2, but that's neither here nor there. You want a guy, you go and get him. Philadelphia made a trade with Baltimore to move up to 22 to get Andre Dillard, their offensive tackle, which they desperately needed.
I like that pick.
And so
Good
that's going to be a
athletic
huge
tackle, 3-year starter, could
big
come
guy.
right in, protect Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Really solid pick there.
Yep.
I thought Dillard could win as high as 9 to Buffalo. So
Yeah,
good
we
pick.
had him at. That's where I had him. His 9 at
you?
Buffalo, and a lot of other people had him in the top 10, top 15. So
Yeah.
definitely a steal, so to speak, for Philly. They
think
went up
so.
and got him. Houston, Titus Howard, another interesting
That
pick,
was
maybe. A lot of reach out of Alabama State. We were
Talented tackle. I saw him second round in most mocks. I fell in love with the guy. Fits the scheme. I get it, but I don't know. First round.
I mean, it's
We'll see.
definitely a reach, but like they wanted him, they went and got him.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, the pick for the Oakland Raiders. Marshawn Lynch said he's done playing.
I had that one in my mock. I had Jacobs going to Oakland at 24. Best running back in the weakest running back class I've ever
Probably
seen.
ever, yeah.
We know Gruden loves running backs.
Yeah.
So he comes right in. He's going to be a starting running back. He's going to be a good fantasy football guy
Yes.
for sure, Jacobs.
I think so too.
Solid pick.
Yeah. And then you move on to Baltimore when the pick that they swapped with Philly to move down to 25, and they ended up getting the guy they probably wanted anyway at the receiving
Hollywood
position,
Brown.
Marquise Hollywood Brown. We thought he'd be the top receiver taken in this draft. We were correct on that. And he goes to Baltimore, and they need that deep threat guy. They need somebody that Lamar Jackson, if he can get the ball there
Down the
to
field.
get it, and that's the guy. That's one of those guys Lamar can just throw it up and he'll go underneath and
And
get it for
he'll
you.
be good on bubble screens,
Yes.
a lot of
Quick
reverses,
passes.
quick passes. He's going to be a fun
He's
guy
going
to
to be
watch in that
huge.
offense.
He's going to be big in Lamar Jackson's development as a
Yes.
passer. The quick passes, the confidence level. You start completing 6, 7, 8 passes, even if they're little outs, little screens. That's going to help him.
Both South Florida guys. by
Yes,
the way.
that's
Lamar
right.
Jackson,
Lamar
Marcus
Jackson
Brown.
too. All right, so we talked about Washington getting Sweat at 26. Oakland's third pick, which we were surprised they made all 3 picks. Jonathan Abram, the safety out of Mississippi State.
Thumper. That guy's a physical football player. I don't know if his style of play works in the NFL no more because you can't really hit guys anymore.
You
He's an
can't.
old school safety like Steve Atwater.
You can't hit anybody in college either, and he made it work.
Yeah,
So.
he reminds me of Steve Atwater. He's an old school safety. I really like him. Good physical player. Gruden Mayock, and I love that guy. A smart kid. Not a real good playmaker. I think he only had 1 interception the last 2 years, but he does have good speed. He can run with tight ends.
But like you said, he's a thumper.
He's
He's
physical.
known to hit.
Oh, he's going to be an extra guy in the box. Help bring some physical tenacity to the Raiders.
There is maybe a guy the Green Bay Packers should have taken, but they wanted that ball hawking safety, and they went with Savage.
They
so
wanted the coverage guy.
we go to the Chargers at 28. A guy that was moving up
out.
late in drafts into the first round was Jerry Tillery, the defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. So that was a big pick for them.
Athletic, long, kind of DT, 6'6", 310. Talented guy. Some people question whether his heart's really in football, but he's really moving up the boards, late in the week,
Very
in the
late.
last couple of weeks, and good pick. Gives the Chargers kind of an inside presence to complement Ingram and Bosa
Yes,
on the outside.
for sure. So we'll move on to Seattle, who always makes this kind of pick the
Yeah,
last couple
they
of
sure
years.
do.
Then we talk about egos. You talk about Pete Carroll.
Yep.
L.J. Collier, the defensive end at TCU, and I'm going to go tell you that I have no clue who this guy is.
A solid player. He had 8.5 sacks at TCU last year. I saw 3rd, 4th round projection. Nowhere did I didn't even see him in
JJ.
any second
Yeah.
round mocks, so let alone go first round. The Seahawks, they've been successful on some of these guys. Some of them they whiffed on, but
Yeah.
we'll see when they took Bruce Irvin first
Bruce
round.
Irvin.
A lot of people
Rashawn
rolled
Penny
their
last
eyes, but
year.
he kind of worked out.
Yeah.
But so we'll see.
We'll see what
I don't know, I
happens.
would have taken Jalen Ferguson or maybe Greedy Williams
Greedy
or
Williams
Byron
or
Murphy. I don't
anybody,
know.
but what do we know, right?
Yeah.
So, going to the 30th pick, and the Giants go in for their 3rd first-round pick. The second
First
team,
corner taken off the board.
first
right?
corner off the board, went to number 30. The Giants
DeAndre
from
Baker.
Seattle, and it was DeAndre Baker out of Georgia.
Good corner, good solid football player, one of the best. Probably him and Greedy Williams, I think the 2 best cornerbacks in the draft. Good pick. I thought they were moving up to get a tackle, maybe Jawan Taylor, but
Yeah.
they move up. First cornerback taken off the board, which is
I'm just looking here and
almost
sorry,
it's
guys.
got to be a record.
Yeah, I mean it was a. Some people said it was a weak cornerback class. I personally think it's a pretty good one. Very top heavy.
It's deep. It's not.
It's deep, but
you
it's
don't have the star. Don't have the elite shutdown guys, but you got about 8 or 9 corners who I think are.
You can make the
NFL
case
caliber.
for like 5 or 6 of them that being the best in the draft, and so that was the only corner taken last night.
Yep.
And then we move on to Atlanta, and we said at 31.
Greedy, gotta be Greedy.
We
Williams,
were
right?
like, this is Greedy Williams. They were targeting
Yeah.
him at 14. They're sitting here, oh my gosh, the first round. Oh my gosh, he's still there. We can get in there real quick. They trade with the Rams, who we thought would trade out of this pick. And they go with Caleb McGarry, the offensive tackle out of Washington, after already taking a lineman. But we talked about it. Matt Ryan, the happiest guy in Atlanta.
Matt Ryan's got to be absolutely ecstatic. You get 2 offensive linemen. Murphy, a dependable kind of pass blocker.
Yes.
Again, they definitely upgraded the offensive line with Lindstrom and Murphy. Again,
Yeah.
a guy though I saw 3rd, maybe late 2nd.
Yes.
Again, they liked him.
They liked him. That's their guy. They
and
wanted
they're
him.
protecting their franchise.
That's
so.
it. I mean, their big time money man is Matt Ryan. So
And then New England.
and then of course we rounded
gets
up New
my
England,
guy,
and we're
my
all
3rd favorite guy.
3rd favorite guy.
Bush, Burns, and then
N'Keal Harry out of Arizona State, the wide receiver, and we were like this, head in our hands, going, "Oh God, who are the Patriots going to steal right now?" Because that's what was going to happen. Whether they went corner with Greedy Williams again, or they went with a receiver, AJ Brown was available, and N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Even if they took DK Metcalf, we would have been like, "Wow, interesting," but we would have probably thought, "Well, there goes the best receiver
Yeah.
ever when the DK Metcalf goes there." But they went with N'Keal Harry, your favorite receiver in the draft.
I like him, really like him. Big, strong, physical receiver, 6'3", 212. really productive last 2 years at Arizona State. Good fit in Patriots offense because he could run routes, steady hands. I kind of like him, the Plaxico burst a little bit. Respected NFL Pro Football Weekly writer compared him to DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, interesting. God, if he's half as good as DeAndre Hopkins,
I like him. He's NFL ready. He can come right in and be productive. Good football player.
So we look ahead to tonight. The
best available guys.
Second and third round tonight starts at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. We thought last night started at 7. Whoops. The guy that didn't go off the board that we thought, and then as he dropped, we looked into, okay, what's going on? Is Jawan Taylor, offensive tackle out of Florida, and we thought, okay, this guy was in a lot of top 10 mocks, including ours. We thought he was a match made in heaven for the Jacksonville Jaguars at 7, and then he just doesn't get drafted. It was apparently some injury troubles.
Knee, back, and weight issues he's had. Kind of similar, obviously, Trent
Brown.
Like me. Trent Brown fell a lot more. He fell in the 7th round, but he had weight issues at Florida. Big talented tackle, and never lived his potential. Ends up going 7th round. Niners, starts there, left tackle for the Patriots. Rest is history. But Jawan Taylor, he was projected to go top 10, 15, worst case, and he's available sitting here day 2. And Greedy Williams, who I think is going to be a really good NFL corner. I really like him.
Best corner in the draft, I don't care what anyone says.
I think so too. And Byron Murphy is a guy I like. If he was a little bit bigger, he definitely would have first. He plays big though.
That's right.
He's only about 5'10 and a half, 5'11, but he's a physical corner. I really like him. Plays the ball well. He's tough. He's going to go very early.
There will be no shortage.
Byron Murphy's a really good football player, and the guy you just wrote down is probably my top guy for tonight. AJ Brown. I really like him. 6'1", 212, physical wide receiver. Has been training with Jerry Rice in the offseason already. Again, I think they knocked him because in Ole Miss, such a limited route running tree, and Laquan Treadwell being a bust. It's kind of red flag these Ole Miss receivers, but he's a player. I don't care what anyone says. He is a good football player. Like him a lot more than DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
He's my top guy for tonight, A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown. So tonight there'll be no shortage of big names, and to round out maybe our top 5 remaining, only because he plays the most important position on the field, his quarterback is Drew Lock.
And that was one of the few predictions I had right last night. I did say Drew Lock would not be taken the first round.
Yeah, and you were right. And it's going to be interesting to see if Drew Lock, not to cut you off, Drew Lock is taken early tonight, or if a team trades up for him, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Josh Rosen. The Cardinals obviously have their guy in Kyler Murray. You don't draft a guy number 1 to keep Josh Rosen, who you got number 10. So will the Dolphins be in play for him? Will the Cincinnati Bengals be in play for him? Will the New England Patriots? Chargers. A lot of teams that have maybe either backup questions with aging quarterbacks, or quarterbacks that teams that, Andy Dalton's in question. You got a new coach finally after 150 years of Marvin Lewis. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens,
and
man.
Drew Lock, does Oakland take him when they pick tonight?
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to someone move up.
The Broncos, possibly. You never know.
And just a couple other guys I want to throw out available. I do think A.J. Brown, Greedy Williams, and Byron Murphy, those are my top 3.
Top guys, for sure.
But Deebo Samuel, I really like, wide receiver, South Carolina. And then some good cornerbacks left. Rock Yudson, I really like him.
Guy we thought would go first round.
I thought so. Lonnie Johnson, a guy you thought would go first round. And then Jawan Williams from Vanderbilt. Michael Jackson Jr. from Miami. And then another guy I really like that I thought would probably go first round, a free safety, Nasir Adderley from Delaware.
Right. Nasir Adderley, I forgot about him. A lot of guys. There's a lot of big names tonight. Tonight's going to be just as exciting as last night.
This is where you make your team. This is where you build your team. Yep. Rounds 2, 3, 4.
Absolutely. So we'll get 2 and 3 tonight?
Yeah. 2 and 3.
2 and 3 tonight.
It's my favorite part of the draft.
It is. It's a reason you got off work tonight, and I'll be working and probably useless because I'll be watching the TV over at Outback. Come see me. We can watch together. So that's our little breakdown here. Hope you enjoyed your little view here. We switched it up. Kind of got outside. It's a nice day out. Make sure you're liking the page. YouTube's a little down right now. We tried to get yesterday's show on there. We'll get yesterday's and today's on there for the YouTubers.
And the Facebook was really active.
Facebook was active yesterday.
We had, over 70 people join us live.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah, that was cool. For our little breakdown of the Raiders pick, because we just felt like we have to go live for that.
Yeah.
300 views on the Facebook show yesterday already. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us yesterday. And Jason, I forgot, we got to announce the winner of our top 20.
Yeah,
so we had our top 20 countdown contest yesterday, mock draft. We had about I think it was 9 or 10 of you that came in with a list. We wish there was more, but that's okay. We appreciate the 9 or 10 of you, and we had a winner, and our guy Jason Mahar took it, and he won it with 5 correct. 5 correct. Just shows you that no one knows what the hell's going on.
Robert had 4.
Robert had 4, and I think Mark had 4.
And
Mark
everyone else had 3
and
or
everyone
2.
was 3 or 2. So it was interesting. Well, after the Raiders picked 4, it was all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And a lot of people missed the Greedy Williams and Ed Oliver, and then there was T.J. Hawkinson. A lot of them had going to Buffalo, I saw, and then he went right before that, so that hurt it. And it's like a trickle effect. You miss one.
Well, Jason,
trickle effect.
why he won? He nailed Jonah Williams to Cincinnati,
And he nailed Christian Wilkins
to Miami.
To Miami. His Miami Dolphins.
And I had him going to the Dolphins, my mock before, my second to last mock, and I had Rashawn Gary going to Green Bay, but that's here and there.
Well, yeah, that's why we make a bunch of them, because when you start it in January,
right.
You're like...
throw out 5 or 6 mocks, and
then you mesh them all together, and you'll get some together. I think we both ended up with, 5 or 6 correct on ours. So it just goes to show you, man, like anybody can make a mock draft and think of that, but we enjoy the hell of it, talking about it, and the assumptions. And tonight's going to be no shortage of fun like last night. Thank you guys for joining us.
And then we'll do a whole recap show.
Yeah, and we'll do a whole draft recap show probably an hour next week or sometime, and we'll get that to you. So, and then we'll move into the NBA playoffs, which is going to be in high gear. A second round starting soon. A lot of great matchups.
We'll definitely cover the NBA.
Yeah, so our bread and butter is getting down to the end now. So we'll do that one recap, and then we'll head right into the NBA playoffs, and then hopefully that'll bridge a little gap before the OTAs and minicamp start in the NFL. So thanks guys for joining us. Make sure you're liking the page, Jared Nuzzy Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, Jared Nuzzy Podcast. All that good stuff. We appreciate you guys as always. Jason, congrats on your $50 gift card to Outback Steakhouse. We'll get that to you.
Yeah, ask on Prime. Maybe you'll get it.
Yeah, if you always remember to ask on Prime, guys.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Peace.